to another episode of the Fake Friends podcast. And this is episode 4, part 2, episode 5, whatever it may be. We're talking, you're listening. So what's going on?
Hey, same old same, nothing much. You mentioned part 2 because part 1 is, I guess, banned without being banned. Just can't put it up there. So we're moving straight on to part 2.
And part 1 already got fried. Gonna be audio only.
Audio only coming soon.
Yeah.
But YouTube has its rules. So I guess there's certain things you can't talk about, even though we live in a world or a country
the truth.
of free speech. Apparently, man, it's weird. Yeah. It's kind of weird. But hey, that's why we're back for part 2, because we're gonna address the forbidden episode on YouTube. I guess we'll paraphrase it so that we can at least upload part 2 with a few things, because you can't oppose certain views. You can't agree with certain things. And it's just, I guess that's I usually say that's the world we live in. I need to just start saying that's the country that we live in, because I had this interpretation of the type of country we live in, and apparently it's not that anymore. So that's where we're at with it.
Yeah. I mean, last awesome episode we did about, I swear it might have been like an hour and a half. It was long, and it definitely would have pissed off the Ministry of Truth. They would have been very disappointed at us. We would have got letters, and they would have fried our YouTube account. And we can't do that.
We're nobody. And you can't even do that.
Yeah. So
it's pretty crazy.
That'll definitely be out audio only. But yeah, so what do you want to talk about pertaining to that episode that you want to talk about now?
Pertaining to that episode, I guess, to sum up the gist of it, I want to address the facts of the climate that we currently live in when it comes to this term, public health, people being selfish, and whatever you may have it, whatever you want to call it, and what everybody appears to have this idea of what's right for everyone else or what's right for them. That means it's right for someone else. And I just want to address a few facts about, what I think Draymond Green kind of summed it up too, in terms of like, who has the right to tell someone else what's important to them, in a sense. And I just revolving the whole, virus and vaccine and all this good stuff. If it's like, if the COVID-19 virus, whatever you want to call it, depending on what you believe in, if it scares you, it scares you. If you're afraid of catching it and dying, be afraid of catching it and dying. And if to prevent that for you means you need to wear a mask and go get vaccinated, that's what you should do. If it doesn't scare somebody, nobody should impose those fears on someone else to the point of telling them how they need to live their life. If they don't feel they need to protect themselves from the virus via wearing a mask, getting a vaccine, that should be their choice. Also, it only appears to be that one fear is acceptable, meaning you're not allowed to. So the survival rate of COVID-19
99.75%.
99.75%, right? I recently looked up death or adverse reactions from the vaccine, multiple, all of the vaccines that are available, is like 0.02%, a point something like that. So both are fair to say that dying from COVID-19 is very rare. Having any type of reaction or dying from the vaccine, even though both are in this very short span of time that we have a evaluation of, is very rare. But nobody's allowed to fear any possible ramifications from getting the vaccine. It appears that way. If you fear it, if you oppose it, you're on the wrong side of the line, I guess, when it comes to the majority in this country currently. And I say that because if you don't have it, you can't go to the gym right now in certain places. You can't go to certain restaurants. You can't go to certain cities. You can't partake in society. You can't have a job in certain areas in this country or partake in society if you don't have this vaccine for a virus that has a survival rate of 99.75. Now, I'm not promoting one side.
Also, another big point, not only about people just surviving from the virus. However, you have a vaccine. Well, I'm sorry, let me call it what it is, an injection that doesn't stop contraction of you getting sick from the virus and or just getting the virus, whatever you want to call it, spreading it and dying. So why are you robbing people's livelihoods with those three facts? Those are facts.
This is very true. Again, I don't want to get part 2 banned also, but I just want to address the fact that I'm not promoting one or the other. If you feel like getting vaccinated is for you, you should go get vaccinated. The people who don't feel like getting vaccinated isn't for them. They should have the freedom to make that choice in this country, because I thought that's the type of country that we live in. But as of the way we've been operating, apparently it's not. And I just think like that point is getting lost, because right now people are making choices to get vaccinated or to not get vaccinated in reference to either
losing their livelihood
or even to just stand in their ground in terms of what they principally, their principles and believe in. And it's almost like a self-sacrifice and protest to be like, I'm not getting vaccinated because you're telling me to get vaccinated. Nobody should have to lose their livelihood when it comes to a decision for what they're making for their body and their self. And just like people who are getting vaccinated are saying they're doing it to protect their family, people who aren't getting vaccinated, how does anybody have the right to tell them that's not how you protect your family?
A big truth to all this is these corporations and government and all these psychopaths that run our society trying to convince people that natural immunity isn't real and isn't medically proven, and it is. So for someone like myself who got this back in April of 2020 and lived, getting shot with something doesn't do anything for me. And so it's like, well, no, you don't have fucking antibodies, dude. Well, you know what? According to medicine and science, I do, because you do with every other virus you get. So why would this one be any different? Because it's a novel virus? Well, our bodies are fucking machines. So even if let's say I didn't have the antibodies, well, then there's nothing to fucking worry about, because I haven't been sick for fucking 19 months with a fever in a pandemic. So either I'm doing something right or this isn't a big fucking deal. But you watch the fucking news,
depending on your source of information,
and you would think it's World War Z.
It's World War.
It's insane.
Yeah. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane what's going on. And
so I know everyone's like, well, dude, that's just you. So you're like, your point of view doesn't matter. Okay, whatever, dude. You just fucking. You need to realize that you're being lied to, and that's that. It is what it is. You have these places literally telling people. Literally telling people that if you don't get a medical procedure with no testing on it, that you can't work and make a living. That's literally insane. Yeah, insane. Even if it worked. That's
what I was getting at. It's like I know people who have gotten it and they didn't get it for health reasons, and that right there is where I feel like people in general should have a problem.
That's a problem.
Hey, why'd you get vaccinated? Oh, I got vaccinated because I wanted to be able to go eat in the restaurants, or I wanted to be able to go to a concert or go to a basketball game. Like, you're making a health choice to partake in society, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's not that perspective isn't being put out there for people to understand in a light of, hey, nobody's having the right to make a choice for their health regarding their health. They're making choices, like you said, to not lose their livelihood. That I don't understand how that's the country that we live in. It doesn't make sense.
I know. Yeah. And you have people they're either too caught up in propaganda on the social medias and their tribe and their fucking echo chamber and shit to realize what's going on, or they sense something isn't right and they're too scared to go, holy shit, this is what it was like in World War II. This is what it was like in these other countries. This is what it's called to live in tyranny. And yeah, it's kind of gaslit because we have technology and we have other sorts of pleasures with TV shows and doing things. But in terms of being a human and being able to own things and do things, this is not right. It's just
not right at all.
It's just not right at all. So morally, it's not right at all. So it's like, even if you are someone who believes in the idea of injecting yourself with something and helping you, medically, cool. You should still be okay with people who don't want to do that because you have a choice to make how you heal yourself. For instance, let's say you were diagnosed with cancer and the doctor was like, hey, man, you could go do this other method of healing, but we're not going to let you because you need to do it this way. And we've never tested it. And also it's probably going to kill you, but you have to do it in order to continue to participate in society. People would be livid. They'd be livid.
Well, and the argument to that is, yeah, but you having cancer doesn't affect your grandmother or the next person in the grocery store aisle. You can't spread.
Cool. Then explain to me how things spread.
Okay, and that's fine. I was going to say, and that's fine. That's fine if that's the case. But again, it is a fact that you can be vaccinated and still spread it. You can be unvaccinated and spread it. You can be vaccinated and get it. You can be unvaccinated and get it. Ultimately, whether you're vaccinated or not, documented, and this has been documented for a long time since we've had this existing, 99.75 is the percentage rate in which people recover from this virus. So even if it spreads, as we've heard over and over again over the past 12 months, a lot of people say, explain to me the difference between this and the flu. Explain to me the difference. Man. Explain to me the difference. Because
it's not the flu, dude.
It's not the flu, dude. I am not a scientist that you can confide in. I am not a doctor that anybody can confide in. All I'm saying is, if the survival rate proves to be that dying from this virus, actually death, is rare, why is one side acceptable and one side not? Prime example, our current president, Joe Biden.
Well, I got an answer for you, but
makes the comment that we're going to protect vaccinated people from unvaccinated people.
How does that make sense?
How do you draw a line in the sand and blame unvaccinated people for the cause of what may happen to a vaccinated person when somebody who's vaccinated can spread and catch the virus?
On top of, dude, they make it seem like people who are healthy are killing people, that's the way they word things. It's like, okay, no, they're not, because that's not real. That's not real.
That doesn't make sense.
Asymptomatic spread is real, bro. It's real, dude. That's how people die from this.
It's like, no.
That's how people die?
No, you're wrong. No. You're wrong. And even your Lord and Savior, Emperor Fauci, admitted that. He goes,
well, you see, asymptomatic spread isn't the cause of pandemics. Okay, you caught me in my lie.
No, it's just a fucking convenient little thing to scare people. Because then everyone's asymptomatic of everything. Me and you are asymptomatic of
HIV, of everything.
Herpes. Fucking everything. You name it, dude.
Everything.
I'm asymptomatic, bro. I don't show symptoms, but I'm just asymptomatic.
All of these points. It sounds, again, I'm glad you said it because it makes no sense when you sum up the fact. When you sum up the fact
zero sense.
that is documented on everybody's favorite website now these days, the CDC, I believe, states the survival rate of COVID being 99. You know what? Hey, let's round it up. 99.75, that's 99.8 when you round up, right? 99.8 is 100% when you round it up, right? Mm-hmm. You don't die from this virus. Nope. Now, another argument that I've heard be made, you die from catching this virus and the complications it inflicts on other organs. Okay, that to me sounds like a treatment in terms of the way that we handle catching COVID and how do we treat it? Because I'm asking questions for the ignorant in a sense of, right. Why does somebody who catches this virus have all types of organ failures after they admit themselves to the hospital when the start of it was COVID? And I ask that question because I use my eyes in my real life. I know 7 to 10 people that have caught this virus. Actually more when I include a few former players of mine. I don't know one person who's been, a couple classmates here and there. I know 2 people out of the, say, 10, I think, that have caught this virus admitted to the hospital. And they're fine now.
Well, here, can I make a point real quick?
And
think about how many people actually got admitted to the hospital because of what was being said in the news, and they thought they just had to go to the hospital.
They just had to go to the hospital and got admitted, right? For allergies. I mean, I even heard that in my barbershop where a guy that works at the hospital was like, people are coming down and they just have seasonal allergies because they think their nose is running because of COVID. And that was at the height of this stuff. So I'm sure Because if you watch the news, if you watch certain things, if your source of information tells you to be scared of certain things, you're going to be scared. Again, I get it. Like, I want to make this point also. And then I'll get back to my reality. How people choose to protect themselves should be up to that person.
That's
if I live in a house and I think the best way to protect myself is to buy a fucking bazooka, I should be able to bear an arms in my house to protect my home, right? For those who don't think they need it and they think they just need a security system and 911 on speed dial, that should be their choice. How they choose to protect themselves. People should have the ability to protect themselves and not be told, like you said, what they need to do to protect themselves. But if you don't do it, you can't partake in society. That doesn't sound like it's a choice that really is to protect myself. That sounds like a form of control. That sounds like you're creating classes of people. That doesn't sound like an actual public health choice or even an individual health choice. And back to my individual health choice or public health choice, if people use their eyes, like you said, you got it. Family members got it. People I know. I only know one person that has passed away in a short time period from COVID. One person. And that one person was, I think, 86, 87, maybe. I might be aging, but my grandfather passed away. Everybody else that I know across all age spectrums, I know somebody who had diabetes and got it, and he's 50 plus. I know somebody that's 22 and got it, and had a sniffles and was sleepy for a week. So the uproar about the virus causing death, I think, is misleading if people actually use their own eyes and not just believe what they're told. And again, believing what you're told, if that frightens you, okay. Like, that is, to me, that's okay. It should be okay for people to be scared. If you want to be scared, cool. You just can't impose those fears on other people. Just like if you're not scared, you can't go to someone and tell them, hey, don't be scared of that. You shouldn't do that, because then nobody's right in that sense. Everyone should have the ability to make the choice for what's best for them. And right now, that's not being allowed to happen at all.
It's very true. Yep. And the problem is the reality we live in is driven by a fear-based society. People get controlled by being put in states of fear. And if they knew that there's no need to ever live in fear, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But the fact is, people, because we are bombarded with so much like scarcity and like, oh, you're going to run out of this and you're going to run out of that. And when you die, that's it. And like, people are just so scared of like everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're going to run out of oil. That's why we need to do that. Oh, we're going to run out of fucking climate change, all this fucking nonsense and shit. And like, so it's like the next thing of fear. Oh, terrorists in caves. Oh, fucking blah, blah, blah. So it's like people put in the states of fear. And if they truly knew, like, oh, there's no need to worry, everything's going to be okay. And like, I'm going to be okay. We wouldn't be in the situation, but, psychopath, but no, like for real. Cause like, I want
to be fair in the sense that
because no one wants to die, but it's
fact,
like,
yeah, but people should have the choice.
Right.
They should just have the choice. If they want to be told what to be afraid of, okay. But if you don't want to believe what you're told to be afraid of, and you want to either see for yourself or choose not to fear it, you shouldn't be alienated.
Yeah, I agree.
You shouldn't be alienated. And like, that's what's happening.
Like, for instance, it's so funny. It's like, if there was a zombie apocalypse type where like you see in the movies where like you look outside and your neighbors are like all fucking eating each other and shit, you're not going to turn on your TV to be like, government, tell me what to do. Yeah, some people might turn on a TV and look at their phones, social media to see if it's going on elsewhere, but they're not going to be looking for like the next command on how to live.
People are going to go lock their doors. They're going to go hide in their rooms.
I need to figure out what they're going to do.
Exactly.
So for these people who are like, all right, mister, who has the answers to everything. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do if there was like something like that? Or like if you saw like people were mysteriously dying, not fucking go outside.
That's what that was my point of using your eyes in terms of like, what you see for yourself.
I don't need to be told to do that. Like, hey, if I walked outside and just saw my neighbors dead everywhere, I would kind of take a step back and be like, what the fuck? And check my surroundings. Okay.
Now, granted, I'm not trying to be insensitive because I think it also affects people differently. So like if it hits very close to home, if somebody loses a mom, a brother, a father, a sibling, and COVID-19 was the cause of that, I can understand.
Allegedly the cause of that.
I want to know. I'm going to credit to say that's the cause of it because it's really predicated on what people choose to believe. And when I say choose, like it's no different than religion. You make a choice on what you want to believe in. You're not forced to believe anything. It's a choice that you make. So if people choose to believe that,
well, a lot of people don't realize they're told what to believe. They don't make choices.
But you make a choice at the end of the day to believe something. And you're absolutely right about that in terms of people being told to believe this and they're just not simply questioning it. So, okay, call it an unconscious choice. But at the end of the day, choosing not to question something is a choice. And if it hits home for someone to lose a sibling or a parental, a relative, a close aunt, a close uncle, a close grandmother, and COVID-19 was the cause of it, I totally understand someone's perspective being that other people need to consider that. Because, for example, I look at it like...
How long? For how long, though? Like, sorry, dude.
Look at it.
Like,
I look at it like this. If people's perspectives are gonna be related to like their reality and their experiences, and so if they experienced it in one light, but let's say my experiences are different in a sense of, well, everyone I know recovered from it and weren't really affected by it. Why should I be afraid of it or change my lifestyle? That person who's affected by it drastically is going to ultimately have a perspective of this is beyond serious and we need to do something because that just happened way too fast. And that's their only experience of it. You understand? So like, I get it again, which is why I said for that person, they should be able to make the choice of do whatever it is they feel they need to do to protect themselves. But I don't think it's right for that.
But also keep in mind is though, these people that have been dying in hospitals have been intentionally miscared for and been giving drugs such as remdesivir that literally kills you. So
all of that is fine.
So all we don't know what they're dying from. Exactly.
But all of that is fine.
I understand the perception. I understand the perception of people being like, oh, this is what killed them. But it's like, yo, enough's enough. Like,
to me, that is all a deeper rooted medical issue, whatever you want to call it. Like, like whatever you want to call it. That to me, that is my focal point here is people not having a choice to live their life regarding what they feel is best for them. And that choice has been removed when you start requiring it for participation in society.
Well, you got to save your grandma, man.
And that's not right.
We got to save grandma, man.
Because here's the thing. Anybody who, you can't tell someone, hey, you got to do this to protect your family or you got to do this to protect other people when you're telling them that if you don't do it, you don't get to have a job and to feed your family. You don't get to have a job to pay for a roof over your family's head. You don't get to go out and eat. You don't get to go get food here. You can't partake in community entertainment.
Yeah, so you know what that's called?
You're not making that choice anymore.
You know what that's called? Genocide.
Again, people won't, it won't be viewed that way until it's too late.
I know, but that's what it is.
Because I don't care about the, like you said, the actual cause of it. I don't care about how it spreads. I don't care what anyone wants to believe from Fauci, Gucci Mane, Tusi. It doesn't matter who they listen to. They should still have a choice, and nobody has the choice right now. In certain places, again, predicated on where you live at, your life hasn't been affected since, even 2020 wasn't bad for you, depending on where you live, because in smaller communities in different states.
Yeah, in different states, yeah. But my point is, though, for like getting back to people, though, it's like you go to the average person, you ask them a question to think about something they might not know. They might go, well, what does the science say? My point exactly. they don't understand that is bought and paid for. Like,
That's
bro,
very true.
look
Very
who's
true.
funding the research to get the results they want to make the world the way they want. So it's like, oh, dude,
Very
that's
true.
a conspiracy. No, it's literally
It's
not.
A fact.
It's literally
it's
documented. It's a fucking fact.
You can do your own. You can do your
the fact
own
that
research
someone, like, for instance,
and find that information.
Like, no matter how you feel about it, but it's like, if you go, you know, you're talking about looking at reality and you're like, you know, I don't know, just something quick and simple, like, oh, how far away is the sun? You know, without someone knowing. And no matter how far away it is, who cares? 93 million miles away. If someone didn't know that, they'd be like, I don't know. Well, what does science say? And it's like, well, why does science have to validate that? Why? Why? What do you think? That's the problem.
Yeah.
That
nobody,
because what people don't realize is because hold on real quick though, is what people don't realize. I'm not trying to hate on the idea of scientific method, because scientific method's great. But the idea of saying just science at the end of things is no different than a religion. It's a religion. They're making science the new religion. That's what it is. And people don't realize they worship this cult. It's a cult, man. It's crazy. You can't question it because science
not allowed.
says, like, well, science
you're not
is
allowed
wrong.
to. You're not allowed to think for yourself.
No. You know what else science says?
At all.
That gravity is a theory. It's not a law. So there you go. And that's something you accept. You don't go test for that every day because some apple fell on a guy's head. So fuck you. Science.
Also, what I think is misconstrued or lost in translation is that science is also ever evolving, because over time you develop. How can I put it?
Yeah, so it should be because no,
like,
because
it's ever evolving because you so if you do a case study on 60 people about a virus in the time frame of 5 years
or anything.
And something changes in year 6, that's a new case on those 60 people. And so that means that your theory, your scientific fact has now evolved into something completely different. But or has the potential to be something completely different. So you can't put science at the end of something and say that this is what it is and what it needs to be when it's ever evolving, which ultimately brings me back home to the point that you people, individuals, should have the choice without the repercussions of losing their livelihood.
Yeah, but what people don't understand too is, like, because I agree with that, is with this idea of throwing science at everything at the end of every statement they make to prove their point. It's like, okay, bro, that's cool with me. Like science, you test things. You come up with a hypothesis and you make a case study and you follow the scientific method.
Yep.
So, for instance, let's say today you do this experiment to test something, and based on your hypothesis and your scientific method, you got the results you anticipated. Now you can say, cool, that's my findings and this is what I believe to be fact. So someone like myself and other people should be able to take your test of what you did, test it the same way and get the same exact results. That's called science. Now people can then modify it and do some things to see where maybe there could have been some room for error, to try to just test it with, like, why? Yeah, get rid of that thumbs up.
I don't know why that popped up. Yeah, you're good.
Anyways,
yep.
So like what I'm saying is like, then people can try to like maybe modify it or try to challenge your test results by taking what you did and doing it their own way or whatever it may be. But that's the idea of science, and the fact that, someone's saying something on TV and someone goes, yeah, because science said so. It's like, cool. Well, how does that make sense? You're like, well, it just doesn't work like that. It's like, yeah, it does work like that. If someone tells me that because of this, like that, you just accept it. Like, so if someone said, bro, if you go outside right now, you're going to get eaten by a lion. And you're like, all right, well, I trust this person. And then you look outside, you see nothing. And I'm not even talking there's like woods or anything. Like where you look outside, you have all the field of vision to see within like a mile, circumference of you. And you don't see a lion in sight. You look at that person, you go, would you trust them that there's a lion nearby? Or would you be like, this person's lying? You know what I mean? Like,
I got a question. I just thought of this kind of analogy to compare. Tell me if this is like spot on. Let's say there's 30 people. Okay. 30 people are about to walk across the bridge. Gucci, Papucci, Fucci, Fauci, Deducci says, hey, only 20 people can walk across this bridge because science says if 25 people walk across, it'll collapse.
Oh, I know for a fact 20 are only going.
So out of the 30, 10 of you have to jump off and die. Is that not a relative scenario
Same
here?
thing.
When
Same
it comes
thing.
to people making choices for so-called public health.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, no, dude, I say that like that
all
might
the
be time.
That might be an
Thank
extreme.
You. No, it's not.
Those
Perfect.
10 people,
for instance,
those 10 people didn't so they have a choice between life and death for the safety of other people.
No, check me out. I love that scenario because we're going to play scenarios because that's perfect. So down the pipeline, they're going to start telling us that we're in a climate crisis and, you know, we can't eat certain foods and we need to make sure we monitor your carbon consumption, all this bullshit to fucking tax us and control us more.
They'll tax you for it.
Anyways, my point is for these people that are so concerned with public health and for the greater good, okay, your demographic from your age to 5 years prior and 5 years after just got deemed unnecessary for society. We're going to all murder you.
See ya.
And you have to be okay with this because this is for the greater good. You're going to save the population.
You're going to save
those
the population.
Motherfuckers get right on that bus. Yeah. They better get right on that bus because it's for the greater good, man. Oh, so now you don't like it because it's affecting you? Oh,
that's my point. That is my point of the choice. That's my point of the choice where people like this restricted choice that people have shouldn't be a restricted choice. It should be a choice, at least in this country. Because like you said, if it's not, then tell me the difference between genocide. I mean, are we in Nazi Germany?
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like we're leading to.
Unreal.
That's what it seems like we're leading to.
Because the propaganda and information control is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
People can't tell up from down. They think down is up and up is down. Swear to God. Swear to God.
Ton of sources of information. Actually, you know what? Let me correct that. Not a ton of sources of information. A ton of sources of controlled information because there's a reason that we can't upload part 1 of this episode. Because
onto that platform. I mean, if we could do other platforms.
Yes, but
it'll
that's
eventually
what I mean.
Be up.
Let's
be up
say,
at some point.
For the purposes of that statement, platforms that the majority use, consume, information is controlled. Okay? Controlled information, which means that the truth can be whatever whoever controls that information want the truth to be. That's the world that we currently live in. I see no difference. Have always lived in, right? And I think if you go look up who made propaganda, the use of propaganda legal on the American people, you might be surprised. Some people might be surprised on who legalized that.
Because the Smith. It was the Smith Month Act or something like that. And yeah.
You might be surprised on who your favorite guy allowed that to happen.
President 44, man. President 44.
Yeah. So, I don't want to go on too long about this because there's a lot more cooler things to talk about that will close this one off and start a new one up. But I rather much get into baseball, basketball starting up.
Thank you. Players, I hate talking about this because
this stuff kind of drives me crazy. It's depressing. It's sad. It's unfortunate.
It is. It's unfortunate. Yep. I'd rather talk about movies.
Baseball. New movies came out.
1 second.
A whole bunch of things came out.
Oh, all sorts of good stuff. I got to go see Venom too.
Yeah, me too. I got to go check that out.
Matter of fact, since people love stuff, this new book I bought, it's great.
Oh, here we go. Get in the camera.
Yeah. Hold on, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it's the algorithm not allowing the truth to come through. Hypocrisy.
Charlie Robinson.
There you
Phenomenal book. Go read it. If,
you got to fix that thumbs
the...
up, dude. I don't know what's going on with your thumbs up there.
Well, thumb is it down then?
No, I don't.
Make it go away.
Yo, did you put that up? How did it just pop up by itself?
I don't know, dude. There we go. Well, my point is, great book. If you're confused with things in our country and you want an actual honest opinion with facts, There's receipts on here. Everything. Oh man, you can't see it, but everything's got receipts at the bottom, sourced out, documented.
There you go.
And give you a better idea of why the fuck things are currently happening.
Hey,
right
but
now.
you know, that takes effort, and people have to be willing to put in the effort to find out things for themselves and not be told. And that kind of goes back to your point that people, are told what to believe and they don't choose what to believe. You're not allowed to think. So
no. It's so true, dude. And honestly, the most cliche sayings and like phrases of all time are so true. And one that is so fucking true is you can lead an animal, a horse, to water, but you can't make them drink it. And that is so fucking true.
It's a fact, because that's a choice.
So true.
That is a choice.
And another one is truth bears no fruit out of season. That's another fucking fact. And, another thing too is because people get scared when they start hearing things that go against things they were told. Ignorance is bliss. That's another.
Yeah, this is very true. I always say that. Fact. I always say I really believe a lot of people want choices to be made for them because it's a lot more convenient and easy and comforting. So I totally believe that. But with that, like you said, I much rather wrap this episode up. Part 2, we'll upload it. It'll be up there for you to see it. We'll get into some much cooler things on episode, would it be 5 officially? 4 has 2 parts, but maybe we'll just call it episode officially. 5. Yeah. Cooler things, postseason baseball, basketball,
football, postseason, baby.
Raiders are 3-0, baby.
Yep. I'm gonna fight Josh Jacobson because that guy is just always hurt.
I know he's always hurt, never plays. I don't think Derek Carr is that good, but hey, he's winning, so cool. Raiders 3-0, Chiefs down at the bottom. Be great to see that. Football is really fun to watch these days. Cool, a lot of young quarterbacks. That's always what makes the game great when you got young talent. Basketball's starting up. The Lakers are basically like going to be the San Francisco Giants of the NBA. Just a bunch of dads running around, probably schooling some guys. They should play in like a Harlem Globetrotters uniform because they have everybody who's 40 and up.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Don't they have DeMarcus Cousins too?
No, they got DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, DeAndre Jordan. That's right.
Dwight Where's Cousins? Howard. I don't know where Cousins at. I don't know, but like I said, we'll delve into all that fun stuff. Baseball.
I hate
basketball,
the NBA too.
movies.
I hate the NBA.
Yeah, you gotta love them. You hate them. It's a love-hate relationship.
No, I used to love players. The NBA. I used to love. It's just the players are just such like. And I know it's not every guy. I know there's some real dogs in that league that are just true fucking competitors, but it's just like everyone's just such. It's like they care way too much about fucking what they're wearing to the arena than what they're fucking doing in the game. It's like I just think like they just got taken over by social media.
Social media, man. Much. Yeah, social media. It's but you know the NBA is like that because that's the sport where the faces and the players are prominent. The players sell the sport. I mean, it's not even the game. The game, people come to see players. They don't come to see the game. People come to see players and they sell the sport. Football, you come to see the game. Like I
literally shouldn't know
star power.
The fact that baseball I know there's some more
star power, but basketball is
think about it. NBA, you know more relationships than you do in any other sport.
Yes, absolutely. That's again, but you see their faces. I mean, they're on the TV. They are they sell your league. So, but we'll delve into that, not to get carried away. We got to pick a hill to die on. Pertaining to this one and stay consistent with that one because I'm always dying on a hill. I'm never coming down when it's something I believe in. And the hill that I'll probably die on, since we're going to upload this one, like I said, is anything that goes against your internal integrity, internal principle, internal morals. You should never compromise or conform. For the greater good, you should never compromise or conform for participation in society. Because the minute you do, you live with regret for the rest of your life. So if something internally does not feel right, you do not conform regardless of the matter, regardless of what that means, you have to sacrifice. And that's the hill that I'm dying on, is that if it doesn't abide by my internal morals, principles, and values, I'm not conforming. I'm sacrificing what it is I need to sacrifice for me to internally sleep at night. That's the hill I'm dying on.
Facts. And for me, it's very similar to part one. In every case of scenario in the real world, art, the movies, theater, you name it.
Yeah.
Mercy is never shown.
Yeah.
So going off what you said is always stick up for what you believe in, because when you show mercy, they always cut your head off. Never bend your knee to tyranny and stand up for what you believe in. Have to. No matter how crazy you may seem, you have to fight for what you believe in. Always.
Even if it's just you.
Even if it's just you. Because they're going to kill you anyway, so you might as well die.
Might as well. Pride. Yep, might as well. I believe it.
And people say, don't let pride kill you. No. No,
it's deeper. It's not even pride. It's deeper than pride there.
It's deeper.
Yeah. So, but all right, man. We'll wrap it. We'll circle back shortly.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't